Amici di Virgin Radio, è con grande piacere che rincontro una band che ho conosciuto tanti anni fa. Sono un gruppo di amici, Simple Plan. Welcome,
Thank
welcome
you.
guys.
It's been a while, man. Nice to
It's
see
been a
you.
while.
Thank
It's been a
you.
while. It's been a while, but it's the first time on Virgin, I guess, or something like
I
that.
think so.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I think so.
And there's a new single. It's something brand new for you. A little bit of change, talking about the sounds. How did you get to this point?
I think that the creative process can take you in many different ways, and that song we kind of got together, and Chuck and I had an idea for a song, and it came out that way, and I think that it's fun for us to allow ourselves to do something different, and I think the song sounds great, and we came together and played it in the studio, and it sounds like a kind of good song to me. So.
Talking about references for that song, what did you look for, or what did you listen to while mixing that?
Like I said, the song just came out on its own. It didn't really have like a particular target or a direction. It just Chuck had an idea for the lyric, "I don't want to go to bed," and the melody just came out. And to me, it sounds a little bit like it's a little more funky than we're used to. And David here killed it on bass. I think he did a great bass part. And I think I like it because you put it on and you just feel like dancing when you hear it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of comeback talking about 70s sound. The job that Mark Ronson did, it's been amazing. So probably you've been influenced also by what's going on in the charts.
I think so. That Uptown Funk song I think is amazing, and
We all love that track.
we all love that stuff. So I think it's cool for us, like a band like Simple Plan, to after 16 years to allow ourselves to explore different sounds. I think that's what keeps it interesting for ourselves and for the fans.
You said it, after 16 years.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be young forever, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
And good looking. When you started, I remember that was a huge period for punk rock, mainstream punk rock, Green Day and stuff like that. And nowadays, even newer band just did a lot of things like All Time Low or some kind of stuff. How do you relate to? You're right in the middle. Do you feel this way? Like something has been done before Simple Plan started, and now there's a brand new generation of band. How do you relate to those middle points?
I kind of feel like we've always been the band that has a foot in the Warped Tour pop punk world, but also has a foot in the more popular side of things, and we've always been that band from the get-go, and I think we keep doing that. We kind of strive to make records that incorporate both things because it's who we are. I think that we enjoy. I've always liked pop music. I've always liked, when I was younger, I was growing up, my parents listened to Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, that kind of stuff. And then I grew up listening to stuff like NoFX and Lagwagon and all that Blink-182 stuff. And to me, I love doing both. I think that we enjoy having those high energy songs that we can play live and that the crowd goes wild, and then do stuff that's a little bit poppier. And I think that in a way has kept us relevant in both those worlds, and as far as the times go, it's fun to see that the style continues to thrive, and there's a big scene for it. And even sometimes if certain radio stations don't necessarily support that sort of sound, because of the internet and people being able to communicate and share, it becomes, the style keeps going. You see bands like Sleeping with Sirens, All Time Low, A Day to Remember, that can attract massive crowds and play for thousands of people around the world, but yet don't necessarily have the mainstream media attached to it. So it's cool to see that the music itself and the style can exist without that kind of support.
In every single press release, your name as a pop punk band. How much is a way to carry for you? Like being popular and being punk rock. Being punk rock, it means you're fit in social issues, and being popular maybe force you to take stands on social issues for everybody. What happened in France? I saw your internet work and stuff like that. How much is difficult for you to have that kind of responsibility on your crowd and on people that listen to you?
I think more so than ever now, people know what pop punk is. It's a sound, And as far as a band, whether you feel you have to be social, you have to be involved or not, that's the band. It's individuals within the band that decide that. We have a foundation. We decided to be very socially active, and that's our way of being political. As far as what happened in Paris, it's a tragedy. It's mind-boggling. It's very hard to understand, and it's very hard to describe it with words. But we decided, we couldn't go to Paris on that day, but we decided we're gonna go back next year. We're gonna definitely you know, we want to support them as much as possible. But I think what's important nowadays is just to be proactive, playing music. It's important to talk about it, and it's important to around you share love, you know, and not fear. I think that those are important things right now.
That's great, and it's always tough to talk about this. It's difficult, especially if you bring in happiness with your songs, and sometimes it's just something that happens so quickly. But right after that, next plans for your next months, apart from the album coming out. You're gonna have a tour that is gonna involve Europe. I know you just been in Italy last September, and it was great. I hope you had fun.
Yeah.
And do you have plans on coming back?
Totally, yeah. Our album's coming out in February, and as soon as that's out, we're gonna start hitting the road. And obviously, we have, you know, fans all around the world that are waiting for us. They've been waiting for a long time, and our goal with every record is to go back to everywhere we've been and to go to new places. So you can definitely expect to see us in Italy very soon.
Do you still have new places like after 16
There
years?
are,
there
yeah.
are. Iceland. We've never been to Iceland.
Never been to Iceland, never been to a bunch of places, you know. It's a big world. I think we've been to 65 countries, something like that. And there's how many countries in total? I don't even
lot
know.
more. I'm
A
not
lot
sure,
more.
actually.
200 plus.
Yeah.
So over 200. So we're not even a quarter of the way there.
Okay, so each and every time you're gonna come back to Italy, you got friends over here. So
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.